Hey y'all, this is Susie. Welcome to my craft room. Today I wanted to talk about supplies, things that you absolutely have to have, and things that you can gather up from around your home, or maybe pick up at the Dollar Tree, or maybe Walmart really cheap. My goal is to do this as inexpensively as absolutely possible. There are some things that you absolutely need, like a pair of scissors. And if you don't have any scissors, or if you have some that won't cut hot butter, tomorrow I'll show you how you can possibly sharpen your scissors. Or you can pick some up at the Dollar Tree, obviously for $1. They're not the best quality scissors, but they absolutely do work. I haven't had any trouble with mine. I do have to sharpen them a little more often than a better quality pair of scissors, but they're absolutely okay to use. So you need scissors, you need some glue. At Dollar Tree you can get the Aleene's tacky glue, this like 3-ounce bottle for $1, or you can pick up a bigger bottle like at Walmart for, I don't know, $3 or $4, something like that, at least now when I'm filming this. However, I am going to try to show you how to make your own glue. They do have bigger bottles of like just regular school glue at Dollar Tree for $1. Some places you can get 2 for $1 at some of the Dollar Trees. I haven't been able to find that. Now this is called 3-in-1 glue. There's also something called Fabri-Tac. They're both made by Beacon. I can't tell the difference between the 3-in-1 or the Fabri-Tac, but they are made by the same company. They seem to be the same. They do have a really significant smell to them. So if you're sensitive to odors, this is probably not for you, but you probably will need a fabric glue if you intend to use any fabrics, laces, trims, things like that that are made out of fabric. You will need a good fabric glue, or just pick up some of this, because this will, I think, work a little bit better than the homemade glue that I'm going to show you. The homemade glue is perfect for paper. I mean, I cannot pull it off another piece of paper without ripping the paper, and it will save you a lot of money to make your own glue. So anyway, that's kind of the glue. Now on this one also, you can see where it kind of leaked out the side of my bottle from having it turned upside down. This is what a glob would look like if it dried, and it's really kind of flexible and stretchy. And if you get it to where it's really yucky, it's really yucky. So anyway, that's kind of it on the glue. And then you need paper, various kinds of paper to make your journals with. This just happens to be from a paper pad. I'm going to show you some other papers that, and sorry for rustling around, but there's no way I can have everything right here in my workspace. This is just some graph paper right here. I do use a lot of graph paper. This is some old stationery paper that I had in my stash. Some more like notepad, stationery kind of things. And this is absolutely beautiful, beautiful paper. So you can use something like that. Notebook paper, paper pads, all kind of, different styles of writing papers. Any kind of like old receipt books that you come across. There's some more, and this has actually been coffee dyed already. This came off of notepads, and these make beautiful, beautiful embellishments. So anything like that that you can run across would be perfect. So really, any kind of paper. This came out of an old teacher's book, which makes a really, really cute page. So any kind of papers that you run across. Save your junk mail. I'm going to show you how to coffee dye it, and if it's got the slick surface on it, I'm going to show you how to get rid of the slick surface very, very inexpensively, and how to be able to use it. So paper, glue, and scissors are the main things that you're going to need. Again, save your junk mail. The letters that come in it, because we will be, coffee dyeing or tea dyeing and gluing those together. I'm going to show you that process. Then chipboard. chipboard would be anything like your cake boxes, cereal boxes, and I generally save a big old stack of it. As you can see, this is from a tea box, this is from a Rice Krispies box, a hair color box. This came from stickers. So I mean, there are lots and lots of packaging that you would normally throw in the trash, and this makes great chipboard to use to make tags with, and all kind of embellishments. So definitely save up your packaging. Other packaging that you might want to save up will be acetate, which is usually it comes on things that need a harder plastic to protect them. Save all of your acetate, even small ones, because we'll make windows out of them. If you can't come across any acetate, save any plastic packaging bags that you get. You'll be able to use those. So just and you don't have to save crates and crates of it. Just a few until you see what you're going to use. Another thing that you can try to round up is any old doilies that you don't mind cutting up. There's also paper doilies that that you can get. You can get a big old package of 3 different sizes at the Dollar Tree. And I was trying to run across one real quick to show you how I've torn pieces off and just use them behind embellishments. They make really, really pretty embellishments. Any old ribbons that you have that you don't mind cutting up, laces, any old fabrics. So save your old clothes, and if it's a lightweight type of material, particularly cotton, you can certainly use that. Save any buttons, because we'll be using buttons if you have them. This is a piece of ribbon that came off of a flower arrangement that I received, I think when one of my family members passed. You can save all the bows and ribbons off of that kind of stuff, cut them up, use them. If you come across anything like this, came in the mail as like a free gift, and it's got little feathers. Feathers make really cute embellishments. Just look around your house for just all kinds of stuff that you can use. Greeting cards, those make great pictures and embellishments. I thought I had one right handy. Maybe I'll run across it in a minute. Like I said, I don't have enough space to have everything out that I want to show you. But again, I'm gonna go back up. Here's one. This is a card that somebody got, and I asked my friends and people I go to church with to save stuff for me, and particularly stuff. And wouldn't that make just an absolutely beautiful little embellishment to put in your journal? And this one was already sent and used. So, yeah, save old greeting cards, whether they're used or not used. If you bought a big old pack of them, your Christmas cards, I mean, any greeting cards that you receive at all, save them. Old calendars that you receive. This one happens not to be an old calendar, but I already had several 2020 calendars. But, of course, this course is too big to use in a journal unless, I were to cut, say, the head off and just use that, and then I could probably put that on a journaling page. But look at these beautiful colors. You can absolutely cut those colors out, make beautiful embellishments. Look at here. So look for colors, save colors. This would make beautiful texture. You wouldn't necessarily know what it was, but you don't have to. It's beautiful. And this blue background is beautiful. You could use it. Here's some smaller images that, I guess show you what's in the calendar. Looks like there's a lot of glare on that. I'm sorry. But you can cut these out, use them for journaling cards. Absolutely beautiful. And again, when you get to the bigger images, this would probably be small enough to cut out to make a page out of. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, you can use the sky. You can use some of that for a texture look. Just, any old calendars, you would be surprised what you can use out of them. Envelopes. Any envelopes that you have. Again, if you get an envelope in the mail, whether, somebody sends you a letter, a greeting card, if you receive junk mail, save the envelopes. Even used envelopes, like this one has been used. I opened this letter. Mine don't always open this nicely. Sometimes I have to rip them open, and that's okay, because, I can cover the back. And most of the time we're going to cut these down anyway, because this is too long usually to fit in a journal, or you don't want it that big. But absolutely save your window envelopes, because we can put cute little stuff in there, make beautiful, beautiful embellishments with those. These are Tyvek envelopes, and this one is a really big one, and obviously you can see it came from the post office. And I actually went to the post office and asked them if I could have one, because I had already used all of my other ones to make journals with. So this actually is a good size to make like a folio out of, and it is, you know, it's very, very strong, and I just really, really, really enjoy the Tyvek envelopes. So those would be good to save. Any paper bags that you might get, even any gift bags, decorative gift bags that you get, save those. You'll be able to use those for journal covers as well. Here's like a little coin envelope. This was something that came in the mail. And this is a pretty cool stamp because it came from Thailand. And of course, being in the United States, you know, that's pretty cool. But and I could actually leave that and you know, maybe just cover up that portion of it with some kind of beautiful embellishment. Any old postcards that you have, they make beautiful journaling cards, so save those. Any foil wrappers that you come across, like this came off of my coffee can. I get a little smaller one off of my cappuccino cans, creamers, things like that. If you get any foil that comes off of, say, like a creamer or something that's liquid, make sure you wash it really, really good. You know, you don't want ants and roaches and such taking over your house. So just, you know, make sure that any packaging is clean. Glassine, we're going to make some glassine bags out of the stuff that's in cereal boxes. The packaging that's inside, the clear packaging that's inside, makes beautiful little bags and envelopes. So we're going to use some of that. If you have parchment paper, that's wonderful. Get some of that, some wax paper. And let's see, trying to think. If you have any tissue paper that came from like your Christmas packages, a Valentine's gift, I mean any tissue paper that you may have, and I'm not talking about Kleenex, I'm talking about, like, you know, like packages come in. Decorative napkins, save any of your decorative napkins. Ask your friends, family members. So anything that you don't have, ask. People will be glad to save stuff for you and give you stuff. Credit cards, gift cards, things that you receive in the mail. I have some somewhere. Okay, this is like a Dick's Sporting Goods card, rewards card that you get when you go in there. These are great for smoothing out your glue and such. People use brayers and such. I have one. I don't use it. I use this, or I just use the edge of my scissors. So I'm going to show you ways around, you know, the fancy stuff that people have. Empty little spray bottles, squirt bottles like this that you have. I picked up this pack of 3 at our Dollar Tree. And I'm going to show you how to make your own inks and such to put in there. Empty containers for storage, whether they be little bowls or, you know, little jars. I mean, anything that you know, you might be able to store things in so that you don't have to buy them. I think I mentioned ribbons, laces, anything like that. Okay, a hole punch. Let me see. Just like you would, you know, punch holes in a piece of notebook paper, typing paper, etc. I've had these for ages and ages. And you can pick up some of these at Dollar Tree if you don't have any. You don't have to have this, but it is nice for when you're making tags to punch little holes in, to attach ribbons and, you know, laces and things like that too. Like I said, they're not absolutely necessary. I will show you how to make some holes without them. Artificial flowers. If you have any, you know, artificial flowers that, you know, you've used for decorations or, you know, whatever, and Again, ask people, make a list. I will try to put a list together and put it on my Facebook page, which is Susie's Craft Room. But anyway, I take the flowers apart and use these petals. And although that's kind of big, sometimes that's nice on the page, and other times I just fold it up, either like in thirds, like that, or in half, hang it off the edge of a page. Let's see, kind of like that. And it's absolutely gorgeous on a page. So save any of those that you might have. Any, old tablecloths that are laced that you don't mind cutting up. Like I have, some antique ones that I really don't want to cut up, but then I have some that I found at the charity shop, like the Goodwill store, ministry stores, things like that, that I don't mind cutting up and using those pieces. You can get a lot of little different designs out of a doily. See, for example, I can cut that piece out and use that. I can cut this out and use that. I can cut this out and cut this whole thing right here out. Then, you can use it so many times, so don't hesitate if you can find these really, really cheaply to pick some up. They make for beautiful, beautiful projects. Any kind of like bling that you might have. This is that color. Let's see, I have many different colors, and you can pick up rolls of this if you have a Dollar Tree, at the Dollar Tree for $1 for great big old rolls. It lasts you forever. If you have any old like pearl trims, things like that from other craft projects that you may have done, old jewelry, save your old jewelry. We can take it apart and use it for embellishments. You'll be surprised at how much old jewelry that you have. Maybe an earring that's missing the other earring, save that. Old necklaces. Sometimes, yard sales, flea markets, etc. You can get a whole big old tote full of, a container full of jewelry for just $1 or $2. If you're like me, you love shopping for bargains, and those are some great places to get some bargains. Old books. Any old books that you might have, save those. I'm going to, if you don't have any old books, I'm going to tell you what to look for when, say, you go to the Dollar Tree or to a charity shop, what kind of old books to look for, the best ones to use, because we're going to take those books apart and we'll use the covers for journal covers, for hardcover journals. Also, we'll use the book pages in our crafting. So, books are wonderful to use. Of course, it needs to be books that you don't mind tearing up. Paints. Now, this apple barrel paint, this is just a 2-ounce bottle, and I get it at Walmart for 50 cents. I don't know how much it is in your area, but it's surely not much more than that. And I know that if I try to buy like an 8-ounce bottle, I can buy 4 2-ounce bottles cheaper than I can buy 1 8-ounce bottle. I don't know why, but it's just the way it is. So I would recommend to pick up a white paint and a brown paint, like maybe a medium kind of brown, because I'm going to show you how to make gesso out of this. Plus, you're going to want to just use it sometimes to, cover up things that, you don't want necessarily shown. The brown paint, we're going to use, instead of some distress inks, we're also going to mix it with this to kind of mute the white down to make more of a beige or off-white kind of color. Any other colors that you want to pick up, like I said, at my store, they're only 50 cents a piece. And so, if you get the primary colors, which I'll discuss, in a future video, probably tomorrow's or the next days, as I talk about different supplies and how we're going to kind of use them. I'll tell you what the primary colors are. And basically with the primary colors, we can make any color we want to make. And I will talk about a little bit about color theory. I don't want to get too scientific or bore you to death, but we'll talk about that. If you have glue guns and glue sticks, gather those up. You want a large paintbrush. It doesn't need to be a long handle like this one is, but you want it to be large bristled. The paintbrushes that I found at the Dollar Tree are usually too stiff to do anything with, and I found that the bristles fall out. but you can usually find a pretty inexpensive pack at Walmart or the Target dollar spot. But you want it to be kind of a wide brush and a flat brush, because if you make your own glue, we're going to use it to apply glue with. Plus, we'll use it for gesso. We'll use it for the white paints or the other color paints. So, you want, one or two of those. If you have food coloring, especially gel food coloring, that'd be great. Later on, I am going to show you how to make your own distress inks. We use a lot of distress ink in our crafting, in our journals, and I'm going to show you how to make your own so that you don't have to pay a lot of money for these. Anything that you do buy at the craft stores, Joann's or Michael's, you can usually wait until they, and even Hobby Lobby, you can wait until they have like a 40 or 50% off sale and get your stuff then. Watch for the coupons, and don't buy like this 3-in-1. I can't get the big bottles at Michael's, but I can get them at Joann's. And they're about $12 right now for a bottle of this. And if I wait till a 40 or 50% off sale, I can get it for about $5 or $6. You don't want to use this just like regular glue all the time because it is really expensive, but you do probably want to get a good fabric glue. Like I said, the Eileen's Tacky Glue does work, but it's just not as good of a hold as a good fabric glue. And of course, you don't have to get this brand of fabric glue. You can use, any brand, I guess. I haven't used the other brands. That's the only one that I have used. Save a few toilet paper rolls, paper clips, big ones, small ones, anything that you have in your office or school supply stash, because we'll be making some pretty embellishments out of these. You can get big old packs of them at the Dollar Tree for $1, or even at Walmart, I think, for like 97 cents or something. I haven't checked for those lately because I just pick them up at Dollar Tree. You want some of these, some people call them binder clips, some people call them bulldog clips. When we go to make our journals, we're going to want to clip these in place. I actually bought both of these sizes at Dollar Tree, not at the same time, but during various times. And there was, I don't know, a pack of 4 or 6 or something like that for $1. And you will, of course, need more than, say, 1. You need 2 at least. 4 would be best. Coffee. If you drink coffee and you brew your own coffee, you can save your coffee grounds and reuse them to coffee dye your paper. If you don't, if you drink instant coffee, that's great. If you don't, you can pick up a jar of instant coffee at the Dollar Tree, and we will be using that to coffee dye some papers. I usually almost always use the instant coffee because I can get it really cheap. I tend to buy the bigger bottles at Walmart, or the bigger jars at Walmart, because for the money, I can get more for the money. It costs more up front, but in the end, it ends up being cheaper. And I coffee dye so much paper. I probably coffee dye, 400 or 500 sheets a week. Tea bags. If you drink tea, you can save your tea bags, or you can use brand new tea bags. I don't use brand new tea bags. I save mine up. It takes more of your used tea bags, but so what? They're being used anyway. If you have any punches, paper punches, for flowers, birds, butterflies, whatever, grab those and gather those up. The very first punch that I would recommend that you get is a 1-inch circle punch. I use these all the time. For example, when we do envelopes, you can take your punch, and when we make coin envelopes, and this won't be exactly perfect, of course I don't measure with these, but just to make like a thumb hole to make things coming in and out a whole lot easier. You'll use them for a variety of things, and the 1-inch circle punch I find is great. Again, wait until you can get a 40 or 50% off coupon. Another punch that you absolutely do not need, but is nice to have, if you can, spring for it, is like a corner rounder. Again, we just use this to take a square corner and give it a nice round look. Again, not necessary. We can accomplish the same thing with scissors. I just can't really, cut curves, ellipses, circles very well. I can't even cut a straight line very well, if you want to know the truth. So just look around your house. Another thing that I want to recommend is you can get a container of wipes, not these, because these came from Walmart, but you can get a little smaller container of wipes at the Dollar Tree. I think there's 15 in there for $1, and they are reusable. Do not throw them away when you use them. So it will save you a lot of money on paper towels to do that. One of the other things that I use all the time, as you can see, I've recycled my wipes. And unless I'm using the fabric glue, which I can't seem to get out of these, and I'll use like paper towels for those, or I'll have one specifically designed for the 3-in-1 glue or the fabric glue. Also, you can get these at the Dollar Tree, and this actually came in a big sheet. I think this is either half or a fourth of the sheet, and I just cut it down and I make my own, and these last a really, really long time. So again, you know, at the end of my crafting day, I just take and throw these in a little container of warm water. The next morning when I get up, I just squeeze them out, wash them out, maybe with soap and water if they, you know, didn't come quite clean. But I'm telling you, you know, I just use these over and over and over again until they just fall apart. And I've been using the same ones for a long time. See, I'm trying to think. If you have any washi tape, grab it. I'll show you how to make your own embossing powders. See, I told you about the napkins. Oh, if you have any old sheet music, that's great. You know, if you have some sandpaper, some fine grit sandpaper, you might want to, you know, grab a little bit of that. There's so much that you can use to craft with that you already have around your house. Just, you know, now a lot of times you'll see folks using heat tools. You can use a blow dryer as well, particularly on the hot setting, to accomplish kind of the same thing. Little makeup sponges to apply your inks and such with, or your paints to distress the edges of your pages. You can get a great big package of these at the Dollar Tree for $1. I don't think they're quite as cheap at Walmart. I think they were pretty expensive actually. But I can't always find these, but a lot of times I can, so just keep checking back with them. Just parts off of stuff. Another thing I use a lot of, but it's not necessary, are these hole reinforcers. Now, I don't, yeah, maybe I don't. No, I don't have any just plain white ones. These actually come white. You may be able to find them in different colors, but I have just stamped these with an acrylic stamp, and then distressed over the top of them to make them look more vintage. And of course, you know, to get that kind of pretty card color, or craft paper color. Old wrapping papers, wallpaper samples, paint chip samples, things like that. You can do a lot with those. If you have any, you know, things like this tool, anything like that that you can use, burlap is good. You can pick up like rolls of different color burlaps at the Dollar Tree. You know, all this came from the Dollar Tree. This really pretty with the lace on it came from the Dollar Tree. You can get ribbons at the Dollar Tree. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go spend any money. I'm just saying that, you know, if those are things that you would like to have, you can get them pretty inexpensively. Sharpie is nice to have, like a fine tip Sharpie. A craft knife. Let me see if I can grab one real quick. Again, you can pick those up really cheaply at the Dollar Tree. And I use those a lot when I'm cutting paper instead of scissors, because I can't really cut a straight line. A ruler. You definitely want to have a ruler. So any kind of ruler that you might have laying around the house, because I will, you know, measure my edges, mark them. Actually, I have a cutting mat that I use, but I'll show you how to measure, and then, you know, just whatever, so you can get kind of an even cut. Then you can just take your craft knife and slice down, and you get a really, really nice cut on that. So definitely, these are, you know, like a dollar that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree. What else do I think might be helpful? Just anything that you can, that you have around the house. If you have any clear nail polish or any colors of nail polish is wonderful, but clear particularly we'll use in place of something else.